It's the opening night and they're lighting the lights. The orchestra is tuning to make sure they sound right. It's time to start our show tonight.
A man's destiny is unwritten. His actions, past, present and future, determine his fate. The role of a soul keeper is to attend to the order of things, and to this I await. I am an administrator to the halls of hell, whilst another of my kind waits upon that heavenly paradise above, each to their allotted sphere. There is a space here for John Faustus. There is a space here for each one of you, but only by your whims, desires, weaknesses or strengths will you come my way.
It's about a guy that decides that he's a bit bored. He's quite intellectual, he's a philosopher, he's a scientist, and he's very clever, he's very intellectual, and he's bored, so he decides that he'll have a bit of a dabble in black magic and the black arts, and he sells his soul to the devil for 24 years of woo-woo, living it up. And then, I won't spoil the ending, but it all ends in tears. It was the first play when I was about 9 or 10 that got me interested in theatre. So it was something that I was like, what am I going to do? And there was that kind of a point where I was like, and I haven't done directing or medieval sort of oldie English type text in a kind of any detail. I've done some work, but not of any great length. And this is just a fantastic play because it's got everything in it. It's very, very dark. It's got devils. But it's got a lot of slapstick. So there's a lot of really, really hijinks comedy scenes that you're like, wow, how is that? How are we going to even do that? Because there's a lot of mirror scenes. So it's just a big old roller coaster of devils and fun. Not that devils are fun necessarily, but they're separate things. So and Christopher Marlowe is just such a brilliant writer. It's just such a great play. So, and everybody that's kind of been involved so far is just like, this is just, so great. And the language isn't a barrier, because once you actually just break it down and you act in it, because there's a lot of physicality in it, it just becomes that it's just like, hello, how are you? Just an ordinary kind of text in that way of understanding it, so which I really like.
Forward and backward anagrammatized. The abbreviated names of holy saints, figures of every adjunct to the heavens, and characters, signs, and earring stars by which spirit sound falls to rise. Fear not, Faustus. Fear no more. Try the uttermost magic can perform.
Why did you want to be involved in this play then?
I've always been interested in the play. I like anything that's really dark, so that's kind of the genre that I like to go in when I'm auditioning plays and things like that.
About yourself?
Yes, I got involved with Burjesta and just wanted to be involved in whatever productions they were doing, and then they thought I should do this, so I said yeah, and it's great. I like it. Yeah.
That's like what you enjoyed about it so far. What have been the highlights so far?
I've really enjoyed working with Will. It's really intense, the scenes that we've got to do. Really intense. We have like hours, don't we, working on. And I've really enjoyed meeting all the new cast, because I've never worked with Burjesta before, so I'll say this is my first role with them. It's scary because it's quite a major role, but I'm looking forward to it.
Everyone here is great, very nice people and supportive people, and put you at ease, because I haven't done it, it's my first time doing anything with anyone, but everyone is probably much more experienced than me, and very supportive. And it's a pretty hardcore sort of text, right? It's not light and easy. So that's intense, and that's amazing. I like that a lot. Yeah, it's good.
Charge thee to wait on me whilst I live, to do whatsoever Faustus shall command, be it to make the moon drop from her sphere, or the oceans to overwhelm the world.
I am a servant of great Lucifer, and may not follow him without his leave. No more than he commands must we perform.
Did not he charge thee to appear to me?
No. I came hither of mine own accord,
Not my conjuring speeches raised thee. Speak!
That was the cause. But yet, per accident.
Whenever I'm working on a project, even if I've seen something before, I won't ever look at it again because I don't like that influence. The play, I think when it was originally done, a lot of the actors, because it's 1604 when it was written, the text that we're using, is they were quite frightened by things, because obviously at that time people actually believed that devils could actually walk down the street and grab you, and so there was much more of that kind of belief in the world, if you like, and in sort of medieval England. So, but in terms of productions and things, no, I haven't done anything. I'm quite like, let's just do our own take on this. So,
and that's a month away, but what are you actually looking forward to the performance tonight?
Terrifying people, I guess.
Yeah, and
what you're
shocking
gonna be doing.
people. Yeah, it's something really different. Yeah, and I hope we get a really good audience. I think people will enjoy it. It's very dark. Yeah.
I think it's quite ambitious. It's quite an ambitious play to be doing for the company and stuff. So if it goes well, then it could be really some genuinely really intense moments and really gripping moments. So if that happens, then that would be fantastic.
Numen triplex Jehovi, Agnai, Irai, Aquantani spiritus salvet, Orientis princeps, Beelzebub, Inferni ardentis monarcha et demogorgon.
Well, what terrifies both of you then? What scares out of you two?
I don't know, really. Not much, to be honest, because that was the horror genre and anything like that, really. So, probably having a full house probably terrifying me, a big massive audience. But yeah, apart from that, really nothing. So.
Yeah, I don't know. We were trying to figure this out today, actually, for something. All we could come up with was like gross spots. That was the only thing. And worms, apparently. Some of us are very scared of worms.
Have you two ever performed at the Castle or Unity before?
I've performed at the Casa before.
Yeah.
Was something really different, doing stand-up comedy. So this is a completely different departure from that. But I've never performed at the Unity, so I'm really looking forward to that. Really am.
Cool. And what's it like performing here?
It's quite difficult because it's smaller, obviously. But we're going to be using like the lower part of the space as well, and through the audience as well. When I first appear, I walk through the audience towards the front, so we're going to use as much space as possible. So
yeah, if anyone hasn't been to see a production here before, when it is all kitted out and all the chairs are in it, it transforms the whole room, and it's actually a great space for a play.
How does one begin to discern as to which place the soul must be sent? At what point does a love of well-being pass through to love of self, expressed in wealth and indulgence? It may help for me to pronounce further on this matter, for it is one thing to want the best for one's family, one's children, to see them rise up in health, in education, to see their minds, bodies and futures grow and prosper. Their limbs add to yours, to acquire necessary fruit in a just bounty.
When's it playing and what dates and where's it happening? So?
Okay, it's happening here at the Casa because we're Burjesta Theatre and we're a resident theatre group at the Casa, okay, on Hope Street, which is in this room here, which is a venue and it has all lights and it's all blacked out and it's very dramatic. And it's on Monday the 2nd of November, Tuesday the 3rd of November, Wednesday the 4th of November and Friday the 6th of November, and then 2 weeks later it's on for one night only at the Unity Theatre, which is Hope Place, and you can get tickets on our website, Burjesta Theatre. You find out more information on our website and you just reserve tickets and pay on the door, and you can book on the Unity website for tickets.
How pliant is this Mephistopheles, so full of obedience and humility. Such is the power of magic. My spells. No, Faustus. Thou art conjurer laureate that canst command the great Mephistopheles. Why do you not return in the shape of a nun?
Now, Faustus, what wouldst thou have me do?
Have you both got like one terrifying line from the play that you actually like saying over?
One little line.
Yeah.
I've got to speak loads of bloody Latin.
I know.
Right?
It's
So
more than me.
just been spitting Latin out all down the street. Yeah.
Okay.
I think the line that I'm looking forward to say is, "Oh, I will not do to obtain his soul," because it's kind of creepy and yeah, I want really people to begin. Thank God.
When pursuit is for self-aggrandizement and comes at the expense of others, taking from their mouths to feed one's own, emptying their purses to acquire riches for oneself, then is a line crossed. Then does one's future station become
Go! I charge thee to go and return thy shape.
It's just, you know, one of the greatest plays ever written, and it's going to be performed by a local fringe theatre that are committed to bringing quality entertainment that's different. It's got a little bit of an edge. You'll have a completely different night out. And the Cas is a great venue to come to, as well as the Unity.
I'm John Hardiker, I'm the director of Bob Cratchitt Retired. If you think of the old Scrooge Christmas Carol story, it kind of follows on from there. Scrooge has been reformed character and now has got a shop with Jane Marley, and Bob Cratchitt, who was the clerk, is now the manager of the store, and he's coming up to his retirement. And really the story is, well, you have to come and see it, but it's basically about what happens after retirement. And that is a big question for people in the past, and certainly for the people in the future. And hopefully this story will give you some hope and some dynamic. If you are a retiree or coming up to retirement, what will happen to you, or the options are open to you, because Bob finds solace and he finds a purpose in life. And that's what the U3A is about.
It's Christmas Eve and spirits lift, for each of us and Darren Waffle. They shall be your festive gift. It's songs and sing shall be our special offer. To you from us, our prayer and kisses, with hope and aspirations, love and Christmas.
I am David Davis and I play Bob Cratchitt. Bob is a character that represents many, many men and women who has retired, but work has been their absolute life. It's been their focus, it's been their identity, and suddenly they find that they've lost an awful lot without anything to replace it. It's just been years and years of work. So with Bob, as with many people, he's laying around the house, he doesn't know what to do, he's kind of aging, he's stressed, he doesn't know what to do, so he finds that the UA3A is a new life, that he can actually do the things which he didn't have time to do when he was working, with the children, with growing up, with paying a mortgage. He's suddenly got time for things he would have liked to do, but never had the opportunity, or more importantly, the most important, time. And once he starts doing that, then he finds that his esteem comes back, his confidence comes back. He really feels like the person he should be, or was if he hadn't have spent all his time focused on a job.
Really, it's aimed at anybody, but we'll all end up at retirement. We'll all wonder what our future holds, and seeing the most part of our life is now going to be spent in retirement, then this gives you a chance to look forward and think, well, what do I want to do with my life after I retire, whenever that may be. We've got a talented cast between the ages of 60 and 85, including the backstage team. Challenged with people who are older, but they're taken to it like a duck to water. There's some experienced people, but a lot of people within the group have not really done much amateur theatre in their life in the past. So it's good for them to expand their mind and try things they've never done before, and hopefully we can entertain them with this, this musical.
We're coming today, we're walking around in beautiful homes in land on the present. The greatness of truth, what is regarding, presenting your presence, our presence. It's Christmas Eve, the spirit.
Okay, well, in the early 80s, 3 people brought the U3A to the UK. It's an organisation that started in France, and it's for people who, more or less people who are retired, or at least over 50 and not working. And it developed from there. Then one of the people who brought it over was Dr. Eric Midwinter, and I was working with him at the Ethel Wormel College in Liverpool. He was the deputy director and I was head of music at the time. 50 years later, I'd been doing various musicals with this group, the U3A group. This was my 5th one. And he emailed me and said, I've got an idea for a story. Would you set the music? So of course I said yes. And Bob Cratchitt retired as the result. Well, I sort of act as a technician as well. I press the buttons to get the music on cue. Yeah.
So is this the first time you've directed the play with a group?
No, I stood in as director for Santa's Secret Summer School, which was this time last year? I think it was this time last year. And also ended up being in it, playing the part of the Dame. So this will be the second one I've directed, but this is the first one from scratch, right from the beginning, and laying it all out.
My name is Dorothy Prothero and I'm playing the part of Jane Marley. Jane Marley is the widow of Jacob Marley, but she's now fallen in love with Mr. Scrooge, who is a completely changed man. We rehearse once a week on a Tuesday afternoon, generally between 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock. It's good fun. Sometimes we just have dancing rehearsals and singing, and other times we go right through the script. Well, it's very hard because it's been in rhyme, so I found the best way to learn mine is if I sort of colour-code it.
How did you colour-code it?
Well, I've got one bit of script, I've got about 5 sections all in one go, so I've done it all in different colours, so I remember it by the colours in my mind. It's sort of moved on quite a while from Christmas Carol until the characters are actually old. Tiny Tim is now an old man, with Bob Cratchitt even older.
Well, as John said, it's something that everybody will come to, everybody retires. And retirement can be a very lonely time. People are living at home, they've lost their job, they've lost their status in life. And the U3A provides activities. It certainly helped me after my first wife died, and I'd had cancer, and I got involved in the U3A, and it helped me tremendously over that very difficult period. Oh, I think it's a great social group as well. I mean, we go out for meals and we do things, and I think it gives a lot of people a purpose in life because, as John said again, many of the people involved in this show have never been on the stage before in their lives. What the U3A does is to try and give people the experience of being involved in things that they would never have dreamt of being involved in before. Everybody wants to be in show business, don't they? And this is your opportunity.
And it represents so many jobs across all levels.
So you say it represents so many jobs, but is there any similarities to Bob and yourself then?
Of course. Yes, of course. I devoted, like most people, I had a work ethic, and I devoted most of my time and energy into work. And you forget that there is something else outside. You know, there is other things you can learn, you can do, you can be yourself. You know, for instance, I'm acting this part, an opportunity I would never have had while I was working. But I would far rather be doing this, and it gives me much more satisfaction than any day at work I've ever had. So I would recommend it to anyone.
How would you sum up the play in like one sentence or in a couple of words?
In one sentence, I believe it really does define, it opens people's eyes who may never have thought or recognised themselves after they retire. And this just gives them that window that there is another life if you're only willing to take it.
Well, here we are. This is where it's at. If you want to phone 01695 579 742, that's where you can get tickets. This is at the Ormskirk Civic Hall, as I said, in Ormskirk on the main road there. And the tickets are £8 for adults and £4 for children.